Madam Second Deputy Speaker, is it in order that as a shadow minister of sports, you can forget very important. I know you love women football, but in your communication, you can forget the critical happiness that has happened yesterday. Malawi Scotias yesterday, we beat Nigeria, and this madam can't go unrecognized. That's why, as a shadow minister of sports, I wanted to celebrate the same with my colleague in absentia, the Minister of Sports, and all of us who were watching yesterday. But, Madam Speaker,
Honorable Member, as a shadow minister for sports, you can communicate to the chair and I'll be able to announce on the same.
therefore, this message is to you, Madam Speaker, that Malawi Scotias has beaten the Nigeria.
Honorable Minister of Finance.
Madam Second Deputy Speaker, indeed I beg to move that the bill number 7, transforming high potential resilient value chains project authorization and ratification be taken today and now.
Honorable Minister, you have to waive the 28 days notice.
Twenty-eight.
29.
Oh yeah.
That one is already.
Yeah, so Madam
Agreed members of 11.
Second Deputy Speaker, maybe before I present, I would like to
29 minus
to ask that all the relevant standing orders be waived to allow me to present this bill because it has not satisfied the 28 days, but it has managed to achieve the minimum 7-day requirement. I'm making this suggestion, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, because of the importance of the bill that is before us.
Honorable members, there is a motion. The motion is that we allow the Honorable Minister of Finance to table bill number 7, which hasn't satisfied the 28-day requirement, but it has managed to satisfy the minimum requirement of 7 days. Those of in favor say aye. Aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried. Honorable Minister in charge, second reading when?
Madam Second Deputy, today and now.
Honorable members, I now put a question. A question is that we allow the second reading of bill number 7 be taken today and now. Those of in favor say aye. Aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried.
Second reading, Bill number 7 of 2026, International Development Association.
Honorable Minister in charge to deliver your second reading speech.
Madam Madam Secretary Speaker, I beg to move that International Development Association Transforming High Potential Resilient Value Chains THRIVE project authorization and ratification be read a second time. Madam Secretary Speaker, the bill before the House seeks to authorize and ratify a financing agreement made between the Ministry of Finance, Economic Planning and Decentralization for and on behalf of the Government of the Republic of Malawi and International Development Association, under which the association has agreed to provide a grant. I repeat, a grant of $50 million, which is equivalent to 86.65 billion Malawi kwacha, for financing transforming high potential resilient value chains projects. This project, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, will run for 5 years from 2026 to 2031. Mr. Speaker, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, the overall objective, let me come back, I think it will run from 2026 to 2031. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, the overall objective of the project is to increase growth and access to finance for targeted firms in Malawi export value chains. The targeted firms are defined as direct exporters, small and medium enterprises that are supplying directly or indirectly to exporters. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, this project is being brought before the House because Malawi's economy remains stalled in the face of macroeconomic crisis, exacerbated by limited industrial and export base, declining job creation. Formal employment covers less than 9% of the workforce, and the exports remain concentrated in raw tobacco. Meanwhile, access to finance is severely constrained, with credit to GDP being less than 10%. And lending rates hovering around 28 to 30%. This project therefore directly responds to these challenges, and it consists of 3 components. Component 1, this one is to do with strengthening value chains for exports, and the amount is 8.75 million. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, this component will support new and existing exporters through 2 main activities. The first one is the Export Readiness Program for matching grants to buyers to acquire international certification and make pre-approved investment, and an estimated 100 firms or companies will graduate from this program with a dedicated outreach to women-oriented business. B, this project will also support technical assistance to the Ministries of Industrialization, Business, Trade and Tourism to strengthen the implementation of Control of Goods Act, streamline export licensing and update national trade policy. And C, supporting government to institutionalize a transparent, rule-based process for decision on export restriction by financing eligible performance-based expenditures, including issuance and the disclosure of new ministerial directive under the Control of Goods Act 2018 and implementation of the directive through first structured review of export restrictions, and lastly, publication of export restrictions. Component 2. This is to do with financing of exporters and SMEs, and the amount of 45.75 million is allocated for that purpose. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, this component directly addresses the critical financing gap for exporters and productive small and medium enterprises. It includes a partial credit guarantee to share risk with participating financial institutions, encouraging them to lend to direct or indirect exporters, and this facility includes shock responsive mechanism were financed by the Global Shield Financing Facility to provide the climate risk financing, including insurance premium support for otherwise viable but climate-exposed institutions. Under this category, it also finances lines of credit in both local currency and foreign currency. The local currency line will support working capital and investment in climate resilient technologies, and the foreign exchange component will finance letters of credit for importation of critical immediate goods by direct exporters who can repay in US dollars, thereby helping them to ease foreign exchange constraint that currently forces many institutions to operate below capacity. And C, this component also will provide support or technical assistance to the Reserve Bank of Malawi, the Malawi Agriculture and Industrial Investment Corporation, MIC, and the Ministry of Finance to establish and manage these financial instruments effectively. Component 3, this is for project management, and the amount of $1.5 million has been allocated to this. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, this component will support the project implementation entity to carry out project management activities, including strengthening and maintaining the implementation arrangements of the project, including the recruitment of an independent verification agent, financing project management activities, including operating costs, and enhancing the capacity of the project implementation entity on the technical aspects of the project implementation, including environmental and social consideration. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, this project is fully aligned with the Malawi national priorities, including the National Export Strategy 2 and the National Export Recovery Plan, NEP. And this project also directly supports the NEP by identifying external sector development, investment in rural sector industries, the private sector empowerment, export diversification, and access to finance as central to restoring macroeconomic stability and growth. The NEP, this is National Economic Recovery Plan, recognizes that Malawi's economy is constrained by a narrow export base and a persistent foreign exchange shortages, weak manufacturing capacity, limited value addition, and inadequate financing for productive enterprises. By strengthening high potential export value chains and also supporting exporters and productive SMEs and improving access to working capital and foreign exchange finance, and also promoting transparent trade facilitation, this project, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, will help increase exports. It will also increase generation of foreign exchange. It will help the economy to generate jobs. It will also stimulate growth for institutions and contribute to National Economic Recovery Plan objective of building a more productive, resilient, and inclusive economy. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, I would like to report that this project, it builds on lessons from the World Bank engagements in Malawi, including the Financial Inclusion and Enterprise Scaling Project, FINES, and the de-risking importation of strategic commodities, DISC. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, this project is expected to have the following benefits. By closing this project, it is expected that the additional annual revenue of $75 million among beneficiary institutions, of which 35 million will be additional export revenue. It is also expected to support 300 beneficiary institutions or companies to export. It is intended to fund 300 institutions or companies to allow them to export. It also includes, out of the 100 must be first-time exporters, and at least 10 women-owned or women-led exporting companies. It is also expected to expand access to productive finance by supporting $39 million in debt financing to beneficiary companies and enabling 1,500 businesses to use debt financing. It also supports to include 300 women-led businesses and enable 200 beneficiary firms to access climate risk financing, strengthening the resilience of companies exposed to climate-related shocks. And this also is expected to create jobs by the beneficiary institutions, including 1,950 jobs for women, and mobilize almost 211.5 million in private capital through matching grants, credit lines, guarantees, and climate risk financing, thereby helping to crowd in commercial financing for Malawi's productive and export-oriented enterprise. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, in simple terms, this project is expected to create value for money, and the resources will also help firms to create sales, increase exports, access affordable financing, buy critical inputs, and invest in better equipment and climate-resilient technologies. And it will also help businesses to expand, create more jobs, bring more foreign exchange, encourage banks and other financiers to lend more to productive and export-oriented enterprises. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, in terms of the terms of this financing, I want to report to the August House that this is a grant. I want to report that this is a grant. But then there will be a maximum commitment charge on an withdrawn financing balance, and this will be only half of 1% per annum. And this is only there to encourage us to draw more. If we don't draw, there's when we don't. So it is just there to show that we use the funds as soon as possible. So this commitment fee charges, if indeed they'll be applicable, then they'll be paid from the consolidated fund. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, in view of the urgent need to revive our export sector, create more formal jobs, and build the resilience of our private sector to climate shocks, this project requires the full support of this August House. Mr. Speaker, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, may I therefore invite honorable members on both sides of the aisle to join me in thanking the International Development Association, IDA, for providing this grant of $50 million to the government of Malawi, and therefore ask the House to support the bill. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, I beg to move.
Thank you so much, Honorable Minister responsible for finance. I now recognize the responses from MCP. Honorable Member for Lilongwe Pililanchuzi, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you so much, Madam Secretary. I have 10 minutes, is it?
Have 20 minutes.
All right, thank you so much. Once again, thank you so much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, for granting me the floor to speak in response to the bill that has been eloquently presented by the Honorable Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Decentralization. Of course, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, I do this on behalf of the Mighty Malawi Congress Party, and I want also to sincerely thank the leadership of our party, our party president, Dr. Chakwera, and the Right Honorable Leader of Opposition for granting me this platform to respond on behalf of the party. I don't take it lightly. They could have chosen others. We have many more equally capable colleagues from this side. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, the bill before us is very crucial, very important. And I want, through you, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, to congratulate the Honorable Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Decentralization for tabling this bill. In fact, it should have been tabled probably after clocking 7 days when it came to the House. It shouldn't have waited this long, because this bill is very, very important. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, this is a game changer. This is a game changer, $50 million. It's a game changer. And we want to extend our gratitude to the World Bank for extending this grant in this project. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, this bill, Bill number 7 of 2026, International Development Association Transforming High Potential Resilient Value Chains Project, Authorization and Ratification Bill of 2026, basically seeks the authorization and ratification of this House on a financing agreement between the Honorable Minister of Finance, Economic Planning and Decentralization, and the International Development Association for the financing of 36.4 SDR, that's the World Bank currency, which is equivalent to $50 million. And of course, it's also seeking the authorization of this House for the charging of commitment fee that the Honorable Minister talked about. This may not even arise. And if it arises, it's going to be very minimal. So on our part, Second Deputy Speaker, right from the outset, we want to fully support this bill. It's a very important bill to this nation. And so the Malawi Congress Party and its leadership, together with all our followers, are fully behind this bill. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, this bill could not have come at a better time than this, than now. Because right now, as a country, we are facing acute forex challenges. And I've had this problem for some time now. And the main problem of our forex challenges is because we have a narrow forex base. According to the recent World Bank country report, as a country we have been experiencing dwindling levels of export for some time now, for some years, both in terms of volumes, in terms of value, and even in terms of the number of exporters in this country. If you look at the graphs, they are going down like this. This is one of the interventions that probably is going to reverse this unfortunate trend. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, as a country, we can't continue to have this situation of forex challenges. It's inconveniencing everybody, including us members here. Most of us travel here. When we go to the banks, they give us probably 500 if they have it. But usually, people are suffering. We are all suffering as a country. And so this is a very good intervention so that we turn around the situation. As you are aware, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, currently our trade deficit as a country is very wide. I think we are over 3 trillion kwacha. In other words, we are importing more than 3 times what we export. And so this bill is the right intervention to turn around the situation. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, as the Honourable Minister said, this bill is into 3 parts. The third part, of course, is about financing the project management entity. I will not focus much on that, but I'll focus much on the 2 parts. The first part is about strengthening value chains for exports. This will support government's export readiness program through providing target firms with advisory services and performance-based grants to equip the said firms with skills and financial incentives to enhance their export capacity. This is very, very important. It's important because one of the challenges of our businesses, of our firms, of our companies, particularly in the export value chain, is access to financing. As the Honourable Minister said, right now cost of financing is hovering over 30%. It's quite high. And most of the companies are struggling to access financing. Now to have such a project which will be able to give grants, matching grants to selected firms. This is very exciting news, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. My only plea, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, is that we are going to choose these businesses, these firms, based on merit. Meritocracy has to take preeminence over kakitocracy. Those that are deserving must be able to access these grants, regardless of whether they're connected to anybody. Merit has to be the basis and not connection to anybody. That is our plea, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. Madam Speaker, the other subcomponent of this part is the capacity that is going to be given to the Minister of Industrialization, Business, Trade and Tourism, particularly when it comes to the implementation of the Control of Goods Act. In the Control of Goods Act are some provisions, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, that vest the powers in the Minister of this ministry, Minister of Trade, in short, to restrict the importation of some goods and services, and also to restrict the exportation of some goods and services. This capacitation of the ministry is going to encourage transparency, so that the ministry should not just wake up one day, if the minister sleeps, probably waking up from the wrong side of the bed and then just decide we have restricted the importation of this kind of goods or services, or we have restricted the exportation of this kind of goods and services. As a country, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, where we are, we don't have to choose the kind of water that we need to extinguish the fire. Our economy is burning. We don't have forex, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. And so there's really no reason why the Minister of Trade should just, wake up one day and say we are restricting the exportation of such as goods, unless it's maize, because we need maize in this country. But otherwise, we don't have to choose. Whatever we have that we need to export, we have to export. Because that's the only way that we'll be able to get forex that we need in this country and change the trajectory of our economy. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, at this point in time, we should export whatever is in demand outside there. Whether they want grasshoppers, whether they want our soil, let's export anything because we want to get our forex. There's no reason to restrict the exportation of anything that is in demand out of the country. You remember, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, last time we brought the Bureau of Chamber here because the Cannabis Regulatory Authority had done market research where as a country would be able to get $700 million per year out of exportation of chamber. We did that, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, because as a country we cannot continue like this. It's like we are all down as a country. We have had this problem for a long time, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. As a people, we need to turn around the situation so that tomorrow we are not going to face the same problem that we're facing right now. The second problem, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, that the exporters this country, especially the SMEs, are facing is the issue of bureaucracy when it comes to getting permits from the Ministry of Trade. They take long, Madam Second Deputy. As I'm speaking now, there are other exporters that have had their applications submitted to the ministry for past 6 months. They are not being given their permits. Some of them will take even a year, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. In fact, as I'm speaking, there are some officers in the Ministry of Trade that have these permits application in their interim. And they're just looking at them, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. I want to mention this, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, that these exporters are doing this nation a favor. It's not them, it's not the ministry, it's not the nation doing them a favor. It's them doing us a favor as a nation. And therefore it's important that we expedite the authorization of their permits. The other issue is the processes. For them to get all the permits, I think there are about over 10 steps, 10 permits that they have to get. They have to go to trade, they have to go to chambers of commerce, they have to go to Reserve Bank, they have to go to MRA. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, this is too long. Why don't we streamline all these processes? Why don't we have a single window so that when they go there, they get their permits and off they go and export? We cannot continue like this, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. I want to finish by tackling on the second part of this bill that is talking about financing the firms that are in the export value chain by providing them with partial credits, including line of credits in local currency as well as in forex. Most of the businesses in Malawi, as we're speaking now, are struggling to access forex because there's no forex. And therefore, they are even failing, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, to run their operations, especially those that are in the export value chains. Because without forex, they can't buy the raw materials. They can't. And so this is very, very important. With these very few remarks, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, as my Congress party, we fully support this bill, and we hope that this project, when it comes to pass, is going to fulfill all its objectives. Thank you very much, Madam Second Deputy Speaker.
Thank you, much honourable member for Lilongwe Pilanjus, who is also the spokesperson of MCP. Now the bill is open for general debate. Can I have takers on the floor? Honorable member for Mwanza Central.
Thank you very much, Second Deputy Speaker. Let me apologize. Old habits take time to die. I stood up before you recognized me when you said the bill is now open for debate. But I remembered that we have to press the gadget before we stand. My apologies, Honorable Speaker. I want to thank you for allowing Mwanza Central to comment on Bill number 7, the bill that seeks to authorize and ratify financing agreement between the Ministry of Finance, Economic Planning and Decentralization on behalf of Malawi government with the International Development Association dated 19th June 2026, under which the association agreed to provide to the government a grant in an amount equivalent to 36,400,000 special drawing rights in order to assist in the financing of transforming high potential resilient value chains project. Madam Deputy, Second Deputy Speaker, I want to thank the Minister of Finance for negotiating for this particular financing. This is a grant, and as UTM and as a Member of Parliament for Mwanza Central, we have no objection. We support this bill. It presents an opportunity, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, to transform this economy. Number one, through value addition, increased productivity, export growth, and job creation. For far too long, our country, Madam Second Deputy Speaker, exported raw commodities. And to the surprise of all of us, we import finished goods of the same raw materials that we export. That is something that, as a nation, we need to come to a point where we agree and say, I think we've done this bad habit for so long, and it is now time to change and start doing things differently. Madam Second Deputy Speaker, when we export raw materials, when we export unprocessed goods, what we initially do is we export jobs. We have been exporting cotton, and when we export cotton, in return we import finished textile. And when you look at that, what we are initially doing is we are processing the raw cotton outside this country. And in the process of processing that or turning that into lint, there are jobs that we are losing. Now, when we start processing and exporting finished goods, initially what we'll be doing there is now to allow young people in this country find better jobs. It will create jobs.
Just to remind you, Honorable, that you have 2 minutes because your time is 5 minutes, so you have 2 minutes to go. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This is a very important bill, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. It's unfortunate that our standing orders sometimes are very unfair, on such kind of bills. Rather, let me just go straight to what we want to advise government, because a very good financing of this nature can also find some hiccups. FINES has been one of the financing models for businesses in this country, but not many people, not many businesses are aware about FINES. And the financial institutions sometimes take advantage of such cheap financing. And when they get this money from Reserve Bank, they are given very fair rates, like 1%, 1.2%. But because there is knowledge gap, many people are not aware of this kind of financing. Financial institutions end up charging higher rates on Malawians. So I want to request the Honorable Minister of Finance to follow up closely, monitor our financial institutions, how
Yes, can I hear the honorable member in silence, please? Thank you.
I want to request you, Honorable Minister, to monitor how this money will be disbursed, because sometimes financial institutions take advantage. I want to request you, Mr. Speaker, I want to request the Finance Minister
his voice on this very important bill that I believe that is going to put Malawian's economy at a very high level. As we all know that we are struggling with the issues of Forex, and to do business in this country is becoming very, very difficult as days pass in and pass out. I would like also, Honorable Second Deputy Speaker, to thank the Finance Minister for ably presenting this bill to this House, which is a very important bill, and I believe this bill would have been presented here some years back. If it was done, I believe here in Malawi would have been moving towards a good direction. Let me take the opportunity also to echo on the words that His Excellency Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika, President of this nation, said that when he's voted into power, is going to transform the economy of this country to the highest level. This is the evidence, Second Deputy Speaker, that we are not just talking, but we are rather walking the talk. Second Deputy Speaker, this bill is going to help business people in a number of areas. For example, as a president of car dealers here in Malawi, we have been struggling to buy, to procure or to import vehicles outside this country for quite some time now. I believe when DPP was in government, Forex was not an issue. But the past 5-6 years, we have been struggling. This has led to a number of small-scale businesses that are playing their is going to ease the businesses.
Honorable
Without
members, honorable members, there is no Kawawa here. We call it, we say here.
Second Deputy Speaker, small-scale businesses are struggling in this country because of the issue of Forex. Very few people are managing to get Forex when they apply to our commercial banks. So the coming in of this bill, the introduction of this bill by our able Minister of Finance, I believe is going to give a lease of life, a sigh of relief to many Malawians out there. And I believe the people I'm representing here from Blantyre City, Jijiri Misesa, are happy as I am standing in support of this bill, because we have many businesses in Limbi that needs to export from outside. And also there are the other components that is going to help expertism, that is going to help the SMEs on how to go about their businesses. And I believe that one also is going to educate many SMEs in as far as doing their businesses is concerned. But without much of ado, I'm very much pleased with this bill, and I believe that Blantyre City Jijiri Misesa is also in full support of this bill. I thank you, Second Deputy Speaker.
Thank you. Honorable Deputy Leader of the House.
Honorable Second Deputy Speaker, Madam, having listened to the debate so far, which is all in support of the bill, I would to move a motion that we curtail debate to allow the Honorable Minister of Finance wind up. I beg to move.
Thank you so much, Honorable Deputy Leader. Honorable members, there is a motion. The motion is that we curtail debate in order to allow the Honorable Minister responsible for Finance to wind up. Those in favor say aye. Aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it, and the motion is carried. Honorable Minister, wind up debate.
Thank you, Madam Second Deputy Speaker. First, I would like to thank all the speakers that have spoken or commented on this bill, starting with the spokesperson for my Congress Party. I would want to agree with the comments made. He mentioned that this is a very important bill because it is going to improve our export base. It is going to help us to generate more Forex, to create more jobs. But he did mention that there is need that the beneficiaries, be it companies or individuals, they have to be selected based on merit. I want to assure the honourable member that the government of Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika will always go for merit. Because Nkukuta Moyo's agenda is to transform the economy. And it doesn't look at the company based on where it is situated or who is the owner of the company. So I want to assure honorable member, that indeed merit will be the basis for selecting the companies. He has also mentioned that the application of COGA, Control of Goods Act, I think should be applied properly by the relevant Ministry of Trade and Business, and it should be able to allow more exports, and we should avoid applying more restrictions. He has also mentioned the need that we need to reduce bureaucracy so that it didn't take too long, and ensure that the applicants for permits and licenses need to be supported in the shortest time possible. He has also mentioned the streamlining of process of ensuring that even the banks, they should not take long, and at the same time they should not be charging high fees or charges, which I entirely agree, so that the banks should not take advantage. We also had a comment, very important comment from the Mwanza Central, who is also supporting the bill and also has reiterated the importance of this particular bill. He also emphasized the need for transparency, accountability, and that there must be fairness, either in selecting the beneficiaries, and also the banks need to be fair. Again, they should not take advantage by charging exorbitant fees and charges. And lastly, we had also a contribution from honorable member from Blantyre, Kichiri Misesa, who is also, I think, my nearest MP, because I'm in the border between Blantyre, is it Blantyre South, for the honorable speaker, and the Blantyre Kichiri Misesa. The honorable member is supporting the bill, and also he has reiterated the point that this bill confirms the Professor Arthur Peter Mutharika's promise of transforming this economy and creating a resilient, a growing and stable economy. So in short, Madam Second Speaker, the House supports this bill, and I would like, as Honorable Minister, I would like to thank all those that have spoken, and I therefore ask the entire House to support the bill.
Okay. Honorable Minister,
I move that the bill be read for the second time.
Honorable members, I now put a question that Bill number 7 be read a second time. Those in favor say aye. Those of the contrary opinion say no. The ayes have it and the motion is carried.
Committee stage, Bill number 7 of 2026, International Development Association, Transforming High Potential Resilient Value Chains Project, authorization and ratification.
Honorable members, the bill is now at the committee stage. May I call upon the Honorable Chairperson for Education, the Lady Chair, to chair the committee stage of the bill.